Hey guys, it's Asian Homie 101. Welcome back to my channel. So today I will be doing a review of the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation. Now this foundation unfortunately does not come with a pump, in case you guys are wondering. I definitely purchased the pump in addition to getting the foundation because I hate just pouring out the foundation onto my hand. I do that with the Estee Lauder Double Wear and it infuriates me like nothing else. This foundation is currently the most expensive foundation that I own. It is retail price is $45 before the addition of the pump. The pump I believe is $8, so you're paying, if you did what I did, you're paying $53 before couponing and whatnot to get this foundation. I purchased this foundation at the towards the end of the year 2014 when Sephora was having coupons, so I did get a bit of a discount, so I didn't have to pay the full amount. But this foundation is of course very expensive, and I definitely wanted to get my thoughts out so you guys can basically hear what I have to say about this foundation. My shade is medium 1 Punjab, and there is 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters of product within the foundation, and that's pretty standard for foundations. Most foundations have 1 fluid ounces and whatnot. The packaging itself is not the most travel friendly. The foundation is in a glass container, but the pump itself is pretty sturdy. There's a lock so that you won't accidentally pump out foundation when you're traveling and whatnot. However, the cap that the foundation initially came in with doesn't fit with the pump, as you can see, so you're just basically traveling with the pump and the foundation itself. So the cap is pretty much useless. I should throw it away, but since I still haven't gotten around to reviewing it with you guys, I figured I'd just keep it for breakfast this day. So this foundation on Sephora, like I said, ranges for $45 without the pump. There is 19 colors in total. I'm in the shade Punjab, and that's medium 1 again. It says it's a medium on Sephora. It says it's a medium with golden peachy undertones. Now normally I go for a foundation with yellow undertones, but personally speaking, this was the one that was the best color match for me. And honestly speaking, I don't realize that much of a big of a difference between using this in comparison to other pinky foundations that I do own. Like this gives me a really nice coverage, and it doesn't look too pink on my skin, so that's good. Sephora claims that it enhances without masking your overall natural complexion. The weightless formula hydrates the skin while complexion brightening properties improve skin brightness, radiance, and texture, leaving the skin with a luminous, sensual glow. It says it's suitable for normal to dry, and very dry skin types. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that I'm an oily skin girl, so taking a risk in buying Sheer Glow, even though I've heard amazing things about it on oily skin girls, is still at the end of the day a very huge risk. I do live in Florida, so the climate is very humid, so I definitely gave this foundation a good 2 to 3 months try before I giving you. Personally speaking, I absolutely love this foundation for the colder months. I think that this foundation works really well with my skin during the colder months when the climate isn't as humid, isn't as hot, and my skin is a little bit more drier than it is in the warmer months. Today it is a bit more, I guess, of a more humid day, so you can see my oils peeking through, but it's a very natural, luminous finish. Not luminous per se, but it's a very nice satin finish without being too luminous. Now, if you guys remember my last review, the Bourjois Healthy Skin Foundation, that I feel is a lot more luminous than, let's say, this foundation is. It definitely gives you more of a satin finish, whereas that one gives you more of a luminous finish. I personally like this foundation a lot more than the Bourjois foundation. If I were looking for a foundation that would give me more a healthy look, I'd personally go for this one before the Bourjois foundation, because I feel like this one lasts a bit longer than the Bourjois foundation. So I think that this foundation personally for me will last me easily 8 hours during the winter months. On the more humid days, it'll probably last me 6 hours before it starts breaking down, but on the colder months, this can easily last me 8 hours, if not more, before it starts breaking down. Now, this foundation doesn't break down completely like a lot of other luminous foundations that I have tried in the past, like L'Oreal Magic Looming Foundation. Now, this foundation just breaks out slightly in the, I guess, the T-zone area, mainly concentrated around the upper cheeks and the forehead area. And that's pretty much it, which is, I guess, really surprising for me. I don't mind it breaking up as much because it doesn't break up so badly that it gives me, I guess, more of a headache and freaking out about how my foundation looks on my skin. It just looks very natural, and it looks very, I guess, skin-like. The coverage on this is pretty much medium. It can be built to full. I usually don't wear this foundation at its max capacity. With the pump, I find that I can get away using my fingers with one pump, 1 to 2 pumps, easily with 1 pump if I wanted more of a lighter, light to medium type of coverage, and 2 pumps if I want more of a full medium borderline full coverage. With a brush, I find that I can anywhere from 2 to 3 pumps will get me the coverage where I like. For brushes, I have used the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which I really like I really like using that brush. For this foundation, I also really like using a Cosmetics OMG foundation brush. That brush is also really great for that, for this foundation. I personally like the It Cosmetics OMG foundation brush for this foundation more than the Real Techniques one. It's more of a paddle brush style, but it's more thicker, so like while you can paint on the foundation, you're not necessarily like giving out stripes. Photography wise, I think this foundation photographs beautifully, although mainly speaking, I usually use my Samsung S4 to photograph, and with the flash on there is pretty great, as well as the Nikon D5-100, which I'm currently filming on. The flash on there is also pretty great, so I really don't have to worry about a really harsh flash like some of the point and shoot cameras have. This foundation I think photographs really beautifully. For oily skin, I think that if you don't live in a humid climate and if you're like combination, I think you can definitely use this foundation. I know a lot of girls who are dry to normal also really love this foundation. But I think if you have oily skin, you definitely might want to give it a try. Get a sample of this since it is such an expensive foundation. Biggest con I see is that this is primarily going to be a winter foundation for me. And while I love the fact that I love the coverage this gives, and I love how this looks on my skin, I know that I cannot depend on this foundation during the summer, and that includes even when I'm using a setting spray and a setting powder. I really can't depend on this foundation to last me the whole day and look completely false. It will look good, but it won't look like, it's not perfection, if that makes sense. It won't look the same from the beginning to the end of the day. It will look by the end of the day, it'll start breaking up in the middle, but it won't look like absolutely amazing. Again, I really do like this foundation. I do think that you should definitely give this foundation a shot. I find that my blush and my contour stays out on my skin throughout the day when using that foundation, which is a mark of a very good foundation. When my blush and my contour don't stay out the whole day, I can pretty much say that the foundation isn't as good as it really the greatest in lasting power wise. But this foundation, you can depend on even like more of the cheaper quality brushes where the formulation isn't as smooth or pigmented. The blush and contour will still stay out throughout the whole entire day, which is a mark of a good foundation. So basically speaking, if you're in the market for a high-end foundation with a satin finish and you have basically anywhere from dry to combination skin, I would recommend you to try this foundation out. Definitely get a sample at Sephora and get color matched, because this foundation is too expensive to just buy without testing it on your skin and seeing how it works. For me, like, I just bought it on a whim. I had a coupon. That was the only reason why I bought it. But I was definitely pleasantly happy about how the foundation turned out. This is definitely a foundation that I wore pretty much throughout the winter months, and now that it's going to summer, unfortunately, I will have to retire this. If you're on a budget, I definitely recommend you checking out the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. That is also a fantastic foundation. However, it is a bit more luminous than this foundation is, and it also doesn't last as long as this foundation, I find. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And please subscribe if you like watching my videos. And if you have any questions, of course, please leave it in the comment section below. Alrighty, bye-bye.